This is what is wrong with Africa, especially Nigeria.
Listen, copper is used in power generation, building construction, and car manufacturing. But none of these things happens in Zambia. They only extract the copper and take it to other countries.
Everything around Butundo belonged to the Swiss mining company, Glencore.
And leave Zambians in poverty and pollution.
Children suffer the most from this severe environmental pollution.
The boy couldn't breathe and had pain in his chest, and he started bleeding from his nose.
And that is why we need you now to come and fire our leaders. Thunder, please come and fire some of our African leaders.
Now, I need you to watch this video to the end. Let me take you down this path. For you to understand, there is something fundamentally wrong with Africans and why we must rise up to the occasion to fix it. This is BVI Channel 1. You're welcome back on this channel. I'm Asuchinedu Peters, bringing you undiluted truth. And we're here to open up your consciousness. We're here to make you start reasoning properly like humans. We're here to make you start asking valid questions. Why are we so blessed and yet we suffer impoverishment? Why are we so blessed and yet we are wretched? Why are we so blessed and yet we go from frying pan to fire? We have the worst leaders piloting the affairs of African people. But Africans themselves, the people of Africa, need to watch this video and understand, say, now we be our own problem. Now this young man, whoever knows him, because you're going to watch the video that summarizes it all, because somebody sent me a video of a young man and told me, this man summarized everything you have been saying all these years. And I believe it will open up your consciousness. Everything you've been hearing on this platform is summarized by this young man. Watch him. I'll be right back.
Hello. Yes, Thunder. What are you doing, man? You're wasting time. We need you in Africa to fire some of our leaders. Yes, I mean, how can Zambia have one of the largest copper reserves in the world, but 60% of its population still live under poverty and unemployed? You're surprised? I'm surprised too. Listen, copper is used in power generation, building construction, and car manufacturing. But none of these things happens in Zambia. They only extract the copper and take it to other countries.
Everything around Butundo belonged to the Swiss mining company, Glencore.
And leave Zambians in poverty and pollution.
Children suffer the most from this severe environmental pollution.
The boy couldn't breathe and had pain in his chest, and he started bleeding from his nose.
And that is why we need you now to come and fire our leaders. Thunder, please come and fire some of our African leaders. Yes, we don't have time, man. They are destroying the continent. Please come quickly, please. Nigeria. Africa's largest crude oil producer and the most populous nation with the people of African descent in the whole world does not refine its own oil. Nigeria exports crude oil and imports refined petrol. Listen, this means that Nigeria's crude oil is actively creating employment in other countries, while millions of Nigerians are unemployed and living in poverty. It was Nelson Mandela who said that until Nigeria gets its act right, the African continent will continue to suffer. Okay, are you angry because of Nigeria's crude oil? Let me blow your mind. I know many of you like chocolate, but do you know that there are chances that the chocolate you had today came from the cocoa bean in West Africa? Because 70% of the world's cocoa bean comes from the African countries of Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon. But surprisingly, none of these countries is the top producer of chocolate. But every day we spend billions of dollars to import chocolate. It's the same thing. The way Nigeria's crude oil is being exported is the way we export our cocoa to import refined goods. As these resources keep going out to power other economies, this is how unemployment and poverty keeps growing.
The origin of this cashew is illegal land. Now they are taking it to different countries now. We have no machine here, the federal government is not assisting us and the state government. If we have the machine, all these things could have not gone out. They are taking our resources to the outsiders. So we are losing, we are not making, and it's them that are making.
I can go on giving you other examples and talk about other problems, but this video will be too long. So let's talk about the solutions. You see, I'm a big advocate for the people of African descent all over the world to come back to Africa to invest their resources, their expertise, their knowledge and experiences in different sectors of the African economy. But to be honest, if we do not get leadership right, no matter their investments, our growth will be slow and insignificant. And time is a luxury we cannot afford. So the fastest way for us to grow is to fix leadership. And leadership cannot be fixed if we as individuals do not fix our minds. Let me explain. This man you see was a two-term governor of a state in Nigeria. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison for diverting over 8 billion naira of the state funds into a private account. Barely 6 months after his conviction, he managed to get out of jail. Now that sounds bad, but what is worse is this. When he got out of jail, he was welcomed like a hero. This man pleaded guilty for stealing over $250 million when he was the state governor. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison and he served only 4 years. When he returned, he was also welcomed like a hero. This man right here is the current serving governor of a state. He was caught on camera taking $5 million bribe from a contractor. Even with this evidence, the people still supported him and made him a two-term governor. Now you can see that it's impossible to get quality leadership if we don't build a society of quality individuals. The king is nothing without the kingmaker. And in this case, we are the kingmakers. We the people give them the power they possess. Until we build our minds to look beyond religious and tribal sentiments, we will continue to have leaders who will steal public funds and open the gates to foreigners to take our resources while we continue to struggle. Our biggest problem is ignorance, so that is why you have to share this video, because the more enlightened Africans are, the better our chances of building a better Africa.
You heard it from him. Whoever knows this man should tell him Asuchiri Peters is looking out for him. At least to say thank you for doing a wonderful job. And I am so glad it's coming from a young person, a youth. That means there is hope at the end of the tunnel. I must tell you that whenever I say something on this platform, I don't just say it because I want to say it. It is a verifiable fact that Nigerians are worse than Nigeria. When I mean Nigeria, I mean those who are piloting the affairs of Nigeria. That is the political class. Those I call the native colonial masters. If our fathers before us that fought for African independence were praising Europeans the way Africans are praising their failed government officials, especially in Nigeria, just like you watched in that video. I've said it several times. I've published it several times. Thank God for this young man that brought it in one pack. If they were singing praises to the British colonial masters, to the French colonial masters, to all the Portuguese colonial masters, to all the colonial masters in the past, if African leaders at that time were praising these European foreign powers, do you think African people will ever witness independence? No. And it didn't end there. Despite the fact we know that what they did, they were able to secure political independence and not economic independence. And that is why it has fallen on our court. It has fallen right before us to take up this charge to free Africa totally, holistically. And it is left for you and I. The level of praise singing I am witnessing from my homeland, from Igbo land in particular, go. The thing is, Anambra State is yet around the corner for another cycle of an election. You will see various groups springing up left, right, and center. They call it endorsement group. That is what I call it. They call it support group, but I call it endorsement group. People of charade, they gather together to show Ashebi, to presing people of questionable characters that will go up into government houses and start making a mess of the life of the people. We must shun that. Some of your parents belong to this group. Some of your brothers belong to this group. Unfortunately, some of my Biafra agitators belong to this group. And yet we shout no election. And these people are drifting our life, making it more miserable. I can assure you that. My people in Ebola, they are the worst I've seen so far. In Anambra State, now, if you go about, you see different support group, left, right, and center, singing praises for men of questionable character. You go see somebody when he say he never finished paying salaries of his workers, yet he wants to vie for election to be the governor of my state. You see men when he say they have not for once affected the lives of their immediate society, intimidating everybody left, right, and center. They want to be the ones to go into government, and you see people, the same victims, rallying support for them. And you say something is wrong with us. Something is fundamentally wrong. And we must match break, put a reverse on it if there is hope for our freedom. So my people, share this video. Tell me your thought. And once again, kudos to that young man. I really appreciate you. We believe we have more young people. We need to identify ourselves so that we can push for our freedom once and for all. I'm also Chinot Peters, and this is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you the truth. No, they look anybody face. Sign up on this platform, subscribe, click on the bell for notification if you have not. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Download our app from Play Store. Visit our website, www.bvichannel1.com, to stay connected with the voice of the people, the voice of God, the voice of our ancestors. I'm signing out. Stay safe.